As the perspectives change so much within the show, to what extent do you still think that Shadow is the central protagonist in American Gods?
Well, I mean, we're still doing the adaptation from Neil Gaiman's book that was released in 2001, and the great thing about this show is that we were able to expand upon the book. In the book, we're very much just in Shadow's head. It's all his inner monologues, and the only characters you met were those who would cross his path. It's almost like he's blinkered, and if you look to the right, you see Sweeney. You look left, you see Laura and Wednesday.
Yeah, sure.
In the show, we're able to go off on those different journeys and learn more about the characters that cross his path, and makes the audience want to engage more. You're more interested in these other characters if you learn more about them. And that's what we're doing, is evolving these characters like Laura Moon. You know, if there were 3 characters, when we first started the show with Neil Gaiman and Brian Fuller, Michael Green, we said there's only 3 characters that would be on the poster at the end. It'd be like Shadow Moon, then you'd have Wednesday and Laura. Yeah, sure. What we've been able to do is really build upon these characters like Bilquis and Tech Boy, Celine as well. This season we added Cordelia in Ashley Reyes, the new actress, who's been fantastic. But what you kind of are able to do with these characters is to build more of this story and to give especially the book fans, more of what they love. Yeah, sure. And for those who've not read the book, it's just more interesting than what you do think every week. You know, so absolutely. You know, we know that where Shadow's going to go as a book lover or as someone who knows the story. I know where I want Shadow to be in season 4. Yeah, sure. But you have to earn that. You have to get there. And so I've had to peel that away. And so when we first see Shadow in season 1, episode 1, he's this broken shell of a man, void of charisma, personality. You can't just watch that show. No. So I have to earn that. You have to kind of build up slowly, but to kind of gain that, all I had to do was just to make him likable. I needed the audience to care. Yeah. And I was able to do that until I built his personality. Like in season 3, we see more fun. We see a more proactive and strong Shadow. But until then, you have to surround him with these beautiful, colorful gods that can keep an audience entertained until Shadow's really at their level, which would be in an epic season 4, where Shadow is finally his true self, the character that I projected in season 1. And so we're able to go down these crazy spirals and learn through these paths of evolution and self-discovery, from Laura learning about her past, Bilquis being defined by the world, Tech Boy, how important he is to world and this whole story. And as we build these strong individual threads, they're slowly, meticulously moving towards each other, getting closer to a final epic end where everyone's going to meet. And that's where there's going to be some true magic. And I'm looking forward to the audience who now care about all these characters converging on the story that is Shadow Moon, who is a demigod, coming into the power and finally choosing his destiny that he's been pushing back for 3 seasons. I've been lucky enough that I've seen the last episode of season 3. So I know what's coming. Don't worry, all my questions are completely safe and completely spoiler-free. In terms of the dynamic, I've been with this show since season 1. I've been covering it since then. The dynamic between yourself and between Shadow and between Wednesday is a very unique one. Is there anything yourself and Ian did in the beginning to establish a rapport of some kind? We made sure we were from the same place in England. That's going to help you. Like, I swear that, like, because, I mean, if you've ever met Ian McShane, he's very vocal. He's very sure of his choices and what he likes and what he dislikes. Yeah, sure. The fact that we both have the same football team in Manchester United meant that we were going to have a smooth relationship. Now, if I had have liked Liverpool or Manchester City or any of the London teams, I feel our relationship would have been a little bit more rocky. So short answer is you didn't do anything. Chemistry at all. No, that would have been a tough ask for 3 seasons for sure. Yeah, absolutely. In terms of obviously, I've not had the pleasure of meeting Ian at all, but his character is so well. For anyone who's seen the show, it's very unpredictable.
is the best way I can describe it, really. How did that work for you from obviously meeting him through to where you are now, knowing everything that you as actors and as characters have gone through?
For me, myself personally, I can't speak for Ian or anyone else, but it's about trusting the process. In that I knew where I was going to be. I know that this is Shadow's journey and Shadow's story, as spoken with Neil Gaiman. And I know where he was going to be and end up. And it's about trusting that journey, that growth, that evolution, and taking ego out, because I'm the lead of the show. I'm the protagonist, the hero of the show. But like I say, from the beginning, he's a broken man. He's not someone people are going to follow.
Yeah.
As we kind of move towards the end of season 3, there's talk about Shadow will lead the people, will lead the world into a positive future. That wouldn't have been possible in season 1. And so you have to take your ego out and be prepared to have a weaker character at the beginning to allow that growth. Like I say, my most important thing was to make an audience care for this character and to believe in him and to just want him to be okay, knowing full well that he was not strong enough to make his own choices, that he was being bandied around and pushed around and belittled by these gods that were around him. And it was kind of like being able to be almost, you know, Mr. Wednesday's sidekick and belittled by Wednesday and the other gods, and allow that kind of character to just slowly learn. As the audience learns with Shadow, Shadow gets stronger as the audience starts to learn more as well. And that through that education, they're able to kind of grow together. And, you know, as we kind of move towards the end of season 3 and into a season 4, I'm now kind of getting the fruition of that patience and that lack of ego to a character where I'm really proud of, that's going to be coming more front and center and powerful and strong and develop his powers and his own mind, where he's making his own choices, which is going to be more exciting for me as an actor moving forward as he starts to take on his father.
Absolutely. So looking more broadly at the show and the themes, what do you think it has to say about the role of religion in contemporary society? So I had to ask you this question. It's a bit of
I find it fascinating. For me, religion and people's opinions and all this it's caused more war than not. You know, I don't know any religion out there at all, any religious text, be it Christian, Catholic, the Quran, like any religion around the world or belief has ever said killing's a good thing and to hate other people. It's all about love and equality, and everyone's kind of moving in the same direction. And so what I feel that this show is able to do is to shine a positive light on everyone's beliefs and faiths and religions. Fear comes through a lack of education. And what America does especially is perpetuate fear of other religions, other beliefs. And so you have people spouting rubbish about things they have no idea about. And when we're talking about religion, we're going off books and ideas that people have. So this isn't scientific fact. So what we need to do is to just respect people's beliefs, respect people's religions. Just because you have a God and it's different to mine, they don't negate each other. They coexist.
Absolutely.
You're allowed to have your God and it's allowed to be different from mine, because at the end of the day, all we need to do moving forward is have something to hold on to that gets us through our own struggles, because you're not going to walk my path. I'm not going to walk yours.
True.
I can't help you through yours. You can't help me through mine. We've got to take these paths on our own. You know, no one's paying my bills. No one's walking in my shoes. So I can't allow someone else's beliefs to affect what I'm doing. I should have the faith and belief to just play my own game, to do me, and to allow you to do you, because whatever it is that you need to get through your day, whether it is religion, belief, faith, a musical song, a film, a quote, or a person, whatever it is that you need to get through life, then just hold on to that dearly. You know, I think we've got this kind of crazy time right now where everyone feels an ownership and they feel that they have a right to dictate what defines other people, how people should be, what they should believe in, when it's got nothing to do with them. It's got nothing to do with me if John and John go and get married over there. let them go and do, how does that affect my household? It's got nothing to do with me. But yet we live in a time where we feel that my opinion is so important that it affects everyone else's lives. But as soon as you start to push upon my beliefs, all hell breaks loose. People just need to relax and just do themselves, you know, and respect everyone else. And our show shines a beautiful, positive light on the differences and the beauty of all that individuality.
I think adversely, it sort of leads on to my next question, which is, in terms of technology, how does technology sort of tie into that? Because that's the flip side of what the show addresses and how we view each other now. So how do you think technology is sort of done, it is addressed in the show, or maybe looks at a wider canvas?
I mean, you got to just think about when this book was released in 2001, iPhones weren't even invented then, you know, so how Neil Gaiman kind of foresaw the evolution of technology in our world and how dependent we are on it. I mean, we're sat in isolation during quarantines and lockdowns during a COVID year, to the point where we're no longer doing this press in person. We're talking to you via virtual. I've not left my house in a year. This is ridiculous. So we're so dependent on technology right now. We're depending on information from computers, iPhones. You know, that they say that there's more technology in an iPhone than the first rocket that landed on the moon. So we truly have evolved. But what we've also learned in this year is that you need a bit of both. And that's what I think the old gods are kind of trying to bring, is that we got so absorbed in technology that everyone's got a sore neck from looking down at their phones. You know, you'll sit in a dinner party or a room and everyone's on their phone instead of actually interacting with each other. And I'll get to your house, I'll text you, I'm outside. Go in.
Ring the bell.
Go inside, ring the doorbell, go in, have a cup of tea. Go and talk about some stuff. Look each other in the eyes. I've got this thing now that when I have specific moments, like where I will literally put down my phone, like when we were with the cast, we were at I think we had Thanksgiving together, and this is pre-COVID when we were filming, and there was literally a moment where we realized we were all on our phones. There was about 8 of us, and we just went, right, phones over there on the table. Phones went on the table, and we didn't look at them for the rest of the night. And you start to interact. It's so important that you have this human touch. And I think if there's anything that COVID has taught us, it's to reach out to each other more. You know, who thought a year ago to the day that we'd be going, I just want to hug. I just want to shake someone's hand without worrying about my safety. I just want to get stuck in an airport lounge. I want to be running for a flight. All these things that we took for granted, you know. So as much as we do need technology, we have to evolve. We have to kind of progress in the world of Tech Boy. We also need that bit of human touch, that humanity where we don't just text you that we're outside. We go inside and we reach out to our loved ones and we spend that time with people, you know, because that's what's truly important. You know, I think we realize that mental health is very important nowadays, and that people are struggling in these times. And the best way to do that is to reach out and to kind of have that connection with each other. And unfortunately right now it's through technology, but hopefully when the new normal happens, we go outside, we go to people's houses and we have dinners and we spend that time with each other, and the phones stay on the table.
That would be amazing. I've got 2 or 3 more questions, depending upon my time frame, because normally a PR jumps in at this point and goes, "You've got a minute left." It's so true, or even worse, I'll just get a little message flashing up.
You're not wrong.
So I've got 1 more serious question and then 2 real easy ones, hopefully. In season 1, the show it made the papers in the UK. There you go. There we go. I've just had a message up. I've got 3 minutes. In season 1, the show made the papers for its for exactly what we were talking about in terms of relationships, for the representation of a same-sex relationship, but in a, shall we say, a very intimate fashion. Why do you think it is that certain people, and I'm not, hence I use the word certain, still continue to find the show quite challenging? Just
because fear comes through a lack of education. And people are scared of stuff they don't know, of difference. And like I say, the world seems to think it's got this ownership on how people should be, and that they should be able to define everyone in that world. Nobody defines you but yourself.
Yeah, sure.
You should worry about yourself. And what we can do with this show is educate and raise awareness of the beauty of everything else. What we have shown, especially in this season, is that diversity matters, is representation matters. Everyone needs to have a voice. The we is way more important than the I. And what we're able to see is people looking at on a screen and seeing themselves. So when we see a beautiful love story with Salim in the LGBTQ community, and they're not portrayed as wrong or dirty or illegal or graphic and horrible, it's portrayed in a beautiful, loving way. You have strong, powerful female leads in Bilquis and in Laura and in Cordelia who speak their own minds. You know what? Women can be strong too. They can be heroes. They can lead the way. You know, we've seen it in movies, franchise, Wonder Woman, Captain Marvel. Women can do anything a man can do too. Let's promote that. We don't have to be afraid of it. We can coexist, you know? And then when we see the Black Lives Matter, we see that diversity. When I was a kid, I looked at Denzel Washington, Will Smith. I'm pretty much stuck. That's all I had to look up to go, well, I could be like them. Nowadays, you know, we've got so much diversity on the screen because everybody needs a voice and everyone needs something to look up to, you know? We live in a terrible TikTok time where people are just like doing stupidness. Yeah. I grew up in a place where I wanted to be a famous musician, actor, famous, you know, footballer or something like that. But at least now that can be anyone's face, regardless of sexual orientation, gender, race, religion, nationality. You need to be able to look on a screen and see you. And on American Gods, there's a little piece of someone for everything. So I'm excited by it.
I couldn't agree more. It's a wonderful show, Ricky. I continue to enjoy it. I continue to review it week in, week out when it's on. And it's still the bravest show. And it kicked the door open for Watchmen. It kicked the door open for Preacher. There's a lot of interesting stuff still going on. Thank you so much for your time. You've been a diamond, and it really has genuinely been a pleasure. Have a lovely day, and I'm really glad that I'm at the beginning of your press, or somewhere at least.
I appreciate getting a little bit of home from home as well. It was nice to hear the accent.
There you go. The Isle of Wight says hello. You take care, my friend. Bye-bye now.
Love, buddy. Have a great day. Stay safe.